Coming up on This Week in Torrance, a legendary leader is remembered.
Then, are you ready for the big one? We'll have details on the upcoming annual shakeout drill in California.
Plus, the sounds of Hawaii are heard here in Torrance at the Cultural Arts Center. We'll take you there.
And one-of-a-kind classic cars and aircraft descend at the Torrance Airport.
These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now. Hello and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chin.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. The city remembers and honors the life of a legendary elected official. Former Mayor Dee Hardison, who led Torrance from 1994 to 2002, was just one of two women ever elected to run the city. Her name is synonymous with economic growth, education, parks and recreation, and much more. Hardison spearheaded many projects across the city that the community still benefits from today, including the Veterans Memorial Wall near City Hall, along with the many parks in Torrance. Prior to her role as mayor, Hardison served on the city council from 1986 to 1994. And before going into local politics, Hardison worked for the Torrance Unified School District for more than 25 years as a special education teacher and program specialist. She also founded the Torrance Education Foundation, which helps raise funds to support school programs and initiatives. Dee Hardison suffered a stroke late August and died on September 30th at the Caring House in Torrance. Her service is open to the public. The viewing will be held on Thursday, October 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Green Hills Chapel in Rancho Palos Verdes. The service will be held on Friday, October 13th at 9:30 a.m. at St. James Catholic Church in Redondo Beach. To catch a glimpse of her life story, tune into our channel this week, where we will rebroadcast multiple programs featuring Mayor Hardison.
Dee Hardison's family, in partnership with the Torrance Education Foundation, are making sure her legacy is remembered. A Dee Hardison Memorial Scholarship Fund was created recently. TEF is accepting contributions from the community to create a scholarship that will provide annual financial support to a graduating senior from the Torrance Unified School District. Hardison served 2 terms as the foundation's president and chaired numerous work groups and committees. Her husband, Lowell Hardison, says that his wife took tremendous delight in presenting the TEF Scholarship Awards each year. The foundation says the Dee Hardison Memorial Scholarship Fund will be a lasting tribute to one of the community's most vital, selfless, and dedicated public servants. This will be one of many awards offered through TEF. Now, to make a contribution to support the scholarship, you can visit TorranceEducationFoundation.org.
Torrance is now more connected to the Southland thanks to a new bus line offered to Torrance Transit riders. CitiCABLE reporter Abbie Gremillion has more.
Torrance unveiled some good news recently for its transit bus riders.
Hoping to expand service on the Line 4, Torrance Transit applied for and was generously awarded funding by Metro and the Net Toll Revenue Reinvestment Grant Program to add more buses to the route, develop bidirectional service on weekdays, and create new service on Saturdays.
Riders will have easier access to downtown Los Angeles. One of the most important aspects of the 4X line, which starts on October 2nd, was the input of the ride and what improvements could be made to better serve its community.
We are proud to enhance and expand our Line 4X service based upon their comments, their input and direction. They told us what they wanted, how to improve Line 4. We heard them, and therefore we give you the new Line 4 Express.
Keeping Torrance accessible for the over 56,000 total annual riders is what helps the city blossom for both business and tourism.
This will help improve the city because it'll provide greater mobility for our residents. It will give them opportunity to utilize our service to go places that they wouldn't had we not expanded the service. So again, it provides a way to get out, improve the quality of life. A lot of our seniors like to go downtown to Olivera Street and different places. This service will allow them to do that now.
The new 4X expansion is keeping Torrance connected with the Southland, and it's just another demonstration of how Torrance is living up to its hashtag, Torrance at Work. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Abbie Gremillion.
Thanks, Abbie. To learn more about the 4X line, go to torranceca.gov.
The South Bay City's Council of Governments continues to make change in the South Bay and recently has new leadership. Newly appointed chairman and current city councilman Kurt Wiedemann led the board of directors meeting. He is the first representative from the City of Torrance to be appointed as chairman since 2008. The board serves as the primary governing body for the SBCCOG and is comprised of elected officials from each of the member cities.
Those issues may be national and they may be statewide. As a consequence, we have a voice and we vote collaboratively. It's not always unanimously, but we try our best to come to some kind of decision to make our voice heard, to make the South Bay voice heard.
Now, during this meeting, members discussed transportation, and City of Torrance Public Works Director Rob Bestie talked about the Green Line coming to the South Bay. The South Bay City's Council of Governments is a joint powers authority made up of 16 cities and the County of Los Angeles. The mission is to work together and advocate for regional issues with a focus of strengthening economic development, improving transportation, and the environment. They host a meeting on the fourth Thursday of each month.
The tragedy of Las Vegas hits close to home for many right here in the South Bay. The mood in downtown Torrance recently was somber as we talked to people reacting to the events of Las Vegas, with many saying they knew people that were at the Route 91 Harvest Festival.
I still can't believe it. I feel just devastated for everybody involved, families, friends. My cousin, actually one of my first cousins here who lives in Torrance, he was there. But fortunately, he didn't get injured, but he said it was absolutely horrific. And it was something, obviously, that he'll never forget. He's a sheriff, actually, Los Angeles County Sheriff. So he was also helping everyone, there.
It's incredibly sad. It's hard to believe that I think everybody's in shock.
I was just actually in Vegas about a month ago, and thank God nothing like this magnitude has happened. But obviously it's been a tough tragedy for the people in the Vegas, and definitely their homes and families. All I can say is this on top of what's going on in Florida and Texas. It's I guess when it rains it pours, but just all the families out there, we wish them, send our prayers out there and hope something like this never happens again in the near future or ever.
Torrance police officers took part in kicking off a cross-country journey to remember fallen officers. The 2017 Cannonball Memorial Run started at the Santa Monica Pier, led by a motor escort made up of Torrance police officers. Law enforcement personnel made stops in several cities where officers were killed in the line of duty this year. The annual tour helps to raise money for families of fallen officers. They end their trip in Washington, D.C. The first stop was at the Palm Springs Police Department. Patches were collected from several agencies that have had officers killed this year. They plan to deliver them to the National Memorial. Two sergeants created the Memorial Run. Now, if you want more information, you can go to cannonballmemorialrun.org. Well, still ahead, a local fiesta shares flavors from different cultures. We'll take you there.
Plus, El Camino College plans to host a drill to get people prepared for the big one.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
My favorite thing about music is it's reliable. It's always there.
It just helps me cheer up other people.
There's nothing to worry about when you do music. You're just having fun.
When I'm playing it, I'm like, wow, this is me. I sometimes just like shock myself.
When you play music, you are playing life.
The American Kennel Club's Responsible Dog Ownership Month is wrapping up, and reporter Abbie Gremillion spoke to Torrance Animal Control for tips on how to be better dog owners. Here's what she learned.
Owning a dog can be a source of unconditional love and a great way to get to know people in your community. However, owning a pet also requires responsibility and consideration of others. Officer LaRose of Torrance Animal Control encourages using common sense when thinking of adding a four-legged friend to your life.
Start with taking a look at your own family. What type of family are you? Are you a very active family? Are you a very relaxed family? And try to match a dog according to your family's personality so everybody will get along. You need to make sure your animal is properly vaccinated and healthy. You need to make sure your animal is licensed with whatever city that you're living in. Properly socialize your animal. Expose them to different sights, different sounds, different people, other people walking their animals.
We talked with a few other dog owners in the park, and they all echoed the same sentiments as Officer LaRose.
For me, I think it's having a properly trained dog and having them socialized so that when you're in a situation like this, that you understand your dog, how they may or may not get along with other dogs, and just taking responsibility for that.
Officer LaRose's most important advice for dog owners was about their leashes.
Always make sure when your dog is out of your yard that it's on a leash. That's the safest thing to do. Leashes legally can only be as long as 6 feet. And that's honestly the safest.
We see people, they're out and about with their dogs and they let them off leash. And we have a couple dogs that I think they're pretty well behaved, but this one in particular is a little sensitive. At times, be a little scary.
Ava, you want your picture taken? No.
And if the unthinkable happens and your dog escapes and is nowhere to be found, Officer LaRose gives this advice.
Check your local shelters. Check more than one shelter. And I would personally go and actually walk that shelter because they don't always know what they have in the back. Check with all the local veterinarians. A lot of times if a Good Samaritan finds a dog out stray, they may take it to a veterinarian to see if they can scan it for a microchip. The best thing to do if you find a stray dog in Torrance is to take it either here to us at Animal Control Office or to take it to the Carson shelter.
Taking these steps will make sure your dog will be returned to you as quickly as possible because, as Roger Karras once said, dogs are not our whole life, but they make our lives whole.
Just take care of them, walk them, love them, and just take them as your own kids.
Loving our dogs as kids because we should all strive to be the person our dogs think we are. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Abbie Gremillion.
Thanks, Abbie. You can also learn more about responsible dog ownership by going online to akc.org. You can also tune into City Cable's Canine Corner with Rhiannon Trutanich. Now, this month, she features how to have fun with pets on Halloween, along with so many sweet dogs looking for their forever homes.
A world-class show of classic cars and aircraft was displayed for the community to see. The Palos Verdes Concours D Elegance is a historic event that has happened across the Southern California region for 2 decades, offering attendees a chance to see classic, vintage, and historic cars over the years. It has grown with the event staged in different locations on the Palos Verdes Peninsula. For the first time, the Torrance Airport played host, allowing the city to also feature aircraft from the Western Museum of Flight. It's put on by the all-volunteer Palos Verdes Concours organization that attracts top exhibitors in each class from all over Southern California. Some of the sights to see was the Porsche 356, hot rods from the Golden Era, post-war American elegance through 1976, and even European classics. Proceeds from the event benefit local nonprofits. To date, they have donated more than $700,000 to charities.
A local school brought back its well-known cultural festival once again for the South Bay to enjoy. The 58th annual St. Catherine Labouré Fiesta offered attendees live performances from youth groups across the region to delicious food from various cultures. Now this year, the event expanded from just 1 day to 3 days.
Our reward is seeing people smile, seeing the kids smiling and seeing the adults happy, that their kids are happy. And that's what it's about. It's just about giving back to the community.
There's more games, there's more food options, a lot of things.
There was also a large silent auction. St. Catherine Labouré is a private K-8 Catholic school located here in Torrance.
The Los Angeles International Ukulele Festival brought the spirit of Hawaii to the South Bay community. The beautiful tunes of ukuleles filled the Torrance Cultural Arts Center as hundreds of ukulele enthusiasts browsed booths and even learned a thing or two on how to properly strum the small guitar-like instrument. This year's artist lineup included well-known talents like Lil Ray and Victoria Vox. Kayla Koa, the entertainment company that hosted the event, said that nearly 1,200 people attended. Officials say they chose Torrance to host the location because of its central location, Los Angeles and Orange counties.
October marks the month of spreading awareness of one of the most common cancers to affect women. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a reminder of how important it is to stay informed and support charities that promote research and finding a cure. Breast cancer is also considered the second leading cause of cancer deaths in women. Most women can survive this type of cancer if it's found and treated early. A mammogram can help with detection and, if found early, help treat the disease. A few places recommended for donations by the American Institute of Philanthropy's Charity Watch is the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, National Breast Cancer Coalition Fund, and Breast Cancer Prevention Partners. Now, across the city of Torrance, different organizations and companies are also doing what they can to give back. Fabletics at the Del Amo Fashion Center has created a line of workout wear to give proceeds towards breast cancer research. Also, the Del Amo Fashion Center will have an afternoon of music, food, and fashion to support the Susan G. Komen Foundation on October 21st at 3 p.m. in the Outdoor Village. Now, for more information on this event, head to simon.com.
A local health institute is helping patients and their employees heal through the art of storytelling. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Edward Mertz has the story.
The program is called Hear Me Now. It allows patients, family members, even caregivers a chance to record whatever's on their hearts or minds as they receive or give medical care. For Marlo Morris, who works with the program, it's a chance to talk about how she and her family are dealing with her father's recent diagnosis of cancer.
Lots of tears.
For sure.
People were upset because he means a lot to everyone.
Participants are encouraged to bring someone they trust to talk to, or a trained facilitator can ask questions. They make an audio recording of up to 40 minutes in length. The idea is to treat the whole person, including spiritual, emotional, and social needs, and not just the physical ailments, says Lindsay Flax, who oversees the program.
You can just see in that moment, particularly with that kind of intimacy, that they really feel like they're being heard. And they walk out of the room feeling like they really received true care.
She believes it's the future of health care.
This idea of storytelling and listening really allows for patients to feel like they're no longer just a statistic.
She says all the stories are housed in the Library of Congress, with some edited and posted on the Providence website. They're available for anyone with a need, says Mike Drummond with Providence.
This is a way for people to essentially give a love letter to posterity.
So far, the stories include a doctor who had to deal with the death of a 6-year-old boy, a nurse who had to take her father off a respirator, and a heart transplant recipient who met the mother of his donor.
To watch people get vulnerable and be able to open up about something that's so personal and meaningful is beautiful.
You can see the stories at providence.org. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Edward Mertz.
Thanks, Edward. For more information on the Hear Me Now program, contact Lindsay Flax at Providence Health. Her email is lindsay.flax@providence.org.
El Camino College is getting their students prepared for the big one with a campus-wide earthquake drill. Students, faculty, and staff will be among the millions of participants in this year's Great California Shakeout that takes place on October 19th. And at 10:19 a.m., everyone at the college will drop to the ground, take cover, and hold on. You can head to shakeout.org to see the many individuals, businesses, and organizations taking part this year.
Still ahead, upcoming events happening right here in the city.
Plus a preview of what to expect on the next episode of the Sports Desk. You're watching This Week in Torrance.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's some upcoming events to mark on your calendar. The Tutu Foundation will host various dance performances from hip-hop, ballet, Chinese dance, to so much more. This event is free and takes place at the James Armstrong Theater on Saturday, October 14th, from 7:45 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then head to the 2017 Business Expo and Showcase at the Torrance Marriott on October 17th. The free event takes place from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. There will be food, drinks, and even a superhero costume contest. And a limited number of tickets are still on sale for the South Bay Escape Room Mortuary Mystery at the Volunteer Center, South Bay. Tickets are available now through October 29th. Now let's find out what's happening in the Torrance sports world.
AJ, what's going on?
Hey guys, here's what you'll see this week on the Sports Desk. Danielle Miskell reports from South High on their game against El Segundo. And if it's high school girls volleyball you're craving for, well, Anthony Scott has you covered in that department. Plus, Eric Kabak will break down the El Camino College men's and women's soccer games against Cerritos. Remember to watch the Sports Desk at 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on City Cable. Jin and Ben, back to you.
Thanks so much, AJ. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.